Welcome back to the Loner Ranger Radio Show and the Loveland Report. We really appreciate Cleve Loveland joining us in today. He's been out and about selling property, working around the state of Florida. But I've got all your news for you, and I appreciate Cleve jumping in. So we talked about inflation. We talked about what interest rates are likely to do. I think they're going to stay pretty stable here for a little bit. We will see an improvement probably after the election, but there could be a chance the Fed will drop the Fed rate. I don't know if that's going to improve mortgage rates or not. I honestly don't. I'm skeptical, but it could happen. It really depends on what inflation does. By the way, if you like this show and you just can't get it every time, you can go to IRRRL or Spotify and you can look up Bruce Woodburn, the Loner Ranger. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, Bruce Woodburn, the Loner Ranger, and watch this show being recorded live with Cleve and I, and my Sunday show as well. So we are always here to entertain and give you plenty of information. One of the things I want to mention that separates me, people say, what separates you from banks and other mortgage companies? First of all, I'm not a broker. I am licensed to broker loans, but I don't. Almost everything I do at CrossCountry Mortgage is in-house. We originate it, we process it, we underwrite it, we fund it, we keep it. Okay? I don't have to go to Bank of America to underwrite my loan for me or some other bank, United Wholesale Mortgage or something like that. Everything's done in-house. Now, here's another thing. We have more products than any bank or mortgage company in the country. We are the number one lender in the country right now. Number one lender, retail lender in the country. That's pretty impressive. We have the fastest origination, the fastest underwriting, the fastest closing time. And we keep your mortgages. We don't sell them. Now, that doesn't mean we can't sell them. Mortgage companies can sell mortgages, but most of them we don't. We offer recasts for people that want to put down money now, but want to have more money to put down maybe from the sale of another house in the future. Well, we'll save you from having to refinance that. However, if you do need to refinance because rates have come down or you need debt consolidation, we have that too. You can call me now at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. You can call Cleve at 407-352-8118. You can go to webringyouhome.com. So we've got on our loan programs, we don't have what's called overlays. And I get a lot of calls on that, particularly from my podcast and my YouTube channel. We talk about overlays. So overlays are additional restrictions that banks and mortgage companies put on their loans to mitigate risk. So we hear oftentimes, well, the bank wants you to have a 620 or better credit score. Well, that's not a loan guideline. That's a bank overlay. Okay. Like some people say, I need a 600 score to go FHA. I don't care what your score is. If I can get an approval, I'll go FHA. Now, one of the guidelines is that FHA says that if your score is under 580, you have to put a minimum of 10% down, and you wouldn't get approved without 10% down anyway. So if your score is that low, but those are overlays. We don't have overlays at CrossCountry Mortgage. That's why we attract the top producing loan officers in the country. I'm one of the top producers in the entire country, right here in Winter Park, Florida, and Tampa, and Daytona, in your backyard, right here. And you can call and reach me. You're not calling Rocket Mortgage. You're not going to call your credit union and talk to the president of the credit union. You're not going to talk to the president of Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Citibank, but you can talk to me. That's what I'm there for. I literally dive in and help my clients get the best mortgages possible. I just had a client on the phone the other day. I said, I think you should give it 2 more days to wait before we lock in. He's like, I'm nervous, Bruce. It could go up. And I'm like, yeah, it could go up. Do you trust me? He says, I trust you. Waited 2 days, dropped a 1/4 point. Think he was happy? Saved him a crap load of money. But that's what we do here. I don't want higher rates for you. I don't want you to pay too much with me. If you weren't happy with my services, you're going to tell everybody. I don't want you to tell everybody that I didn't do a good job or I overcharged you or my rates were high. I don't want that. I want you to know that you can count on me, that I'm the only guy to go to for a great mortgage. And you should insist that your friends and family come to me. Why? Because they're in great hands. They're always going to be taken care of. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. I'll get it done for you. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I'm the loan arranger, CrossCountry Mortgage. 407 250 9144, 407 250 9144, or webringyouhome.com. Mr. Cleve Loveland, one of the best real estate agents in the state of Florida, 407 352 8118. He's out and about today. All right. I want to talk about self-employed people. A lot of you self-employed, I know who you are. You make good money. You got good credit. You're driving a fancy car. You just can't get a mortgage because you don't report any income. And you call me and you go, Bruce, I got a creative accountant. I know what that means. You're writing everything off. So I want to give you an example. Let's just say that you want to buy a $500,000 house. Okay. But your tax returns only show that you made, let's just say, $100,000. Okay. And you've got car loans and all kinds of other things, and it only qualifies you for a $250,000 loan. I'm just giving you an example, okay? So, but I look at your taxes, your business taxes, and I'm like, dude, you grossed 500,000, but you only showed you made 100. Yeah. Now I know in reality, all of you that made 500, you're probably only showing about 35,000. I just talked to a guy a few minutes ago. He made 250. He showed that he made 6,000. So you're saving paying taxes on that difference. So if you really made 500 but only showed 100, you avoided paying taxes on $400,000. And at $400,000, if you're at a 25% tax bracket, you saved $100,000 in taxes. Now, you need a bank statement loan, and that bank statement loan comes with about 1% higher in interest rate. So you look at that and you go, wow, instead of 6.25, Bruce is getting 7.25, or instead of 7.5, you're getting 8.5, whatever it is. So on a $500,000 loan, you'll pay about $5,000 more a year in interest. Okay. So $5,000 a year in interest. It's not too bad, is it? On that, we're talking about on a $500,000 house. Okay. So would you rather pay $5,000 more in interest rate per year than $100,000 per year in taxes? You tell me which one's better. Well, I can tell you one thing. I see a $95,000 delta there, and I'm going with save the taxes. Now, if you're self-employed, you can do that. But here's what you do have to do. You have to have great credit, and you got to put at least 20% down. Okay. 20% down. I prefer 25 for you guys, but I can do 20. I can even do 15. But you start to get rates more attractive when you're putting 20 and 25% down. 407-250-9144. I'm the loan arranger. I don't want your tax returns if you're self-employed. If you don't report the income, leave them at home. I don't care. Leave them at home. I'll do it right here. I'll take your last 12 months bank statements. I'll average the deposits, and I'll give you 50% of that as income. If you're 1099, I'll take your 1099 and I'll give you 90% of your 1099. Okay. Now I'm going to switch gears. That's for my self-employed people. Switch gears. Veterans. Veterans are eligible for what's called an IRRRL, an IRRRL. It means a rate reduction refinance. Your closing costs are next to nothing. Everything can be added into the loan. You don't need an appraisal, but you can't get any cash out. But I can lower your rate. If you are a veteran, do not think for 1 second that USAA, Veterans United, or Newtown, or whatever they're called, are your options. They're spending millions a month on advertising. I don't. I will beat their terms. I will crush their terms. So you veterans, stop thinking that USAA is your best option. You all do. I don't know what kind of juice you drank, but you sure are believing it. Some of you believe that it's part of the government. It's not. They're an insurance company. That's what USAA stands for. So listen, call the loan arranger. If you're a veteran, you want to drop your rate, let's look at dropping your rate. Some of you, I'm telling you to wait. How many times could you call a mortgage company and they say, nah, you don't want a mortgage right now. Let's wait. Some of you I'm telling to wait. Some of you I'm not. If you need debt consolidation, let's just say you're overloaded with debt. And I'm not talking about veterans. I'm talking about all of you. You're overloaded with debt. You call me. I will help you consolidate your debt. We'll get things under control and I will help you. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I'm the Lone Ranger. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me today. Tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock.